welcome to my channel. We hit the finale of Love is Blind season 6. I was about to say, oh, we reached the end of our journey, but no, we have the reunion next week. And I don't know why we have to wait a week for the reunion. Why not do it on Sunday? Because I think Sweden did that. The episodes were midweek and the reunion fell on a Sunday. And I think the Brazilian version too, like the reunion was on a Sunday. So why wait a week, Netflix? Just drop the reunion. Because first of all, I think that the reunion should have happened this week, because we could have combined last week's episode, because half of that episode was super boring. And then this episode too, same thing. The Bachelor and Bachelorette party, what a snooze fest. I feel bad for them that they had such like uneventful, non-exciting bachelor, especially the guys. I could have cut out the bachelor parties from this episode. First, we start with Jimmy and Chelsea, where we pick up right where we left off from last episode. And he's asking her, what do you feel like your answer will be? And she's like, oh, it'll be a yes. She's still there. Chelsea's still hanging there. And then Jimmy drops the bomb that he says, and it was so interesting because he was saying that everything that you've done so far was what I expected a wife to do. And I was like, okay. But then he said, I do not want to go to the altar. I was like, let the floodgates begin. 95% of the things that comes out of Jimmy's mouth, she starts crying. But she was so mad. She was saying, why did you waste my time coming here? We had a wonderful day. Chelsea, he just wanted to ride the roller coasters. So the biggest thing for Jimmy is that he said he cannot trust her after she put out on camera that he slept with one of his friends. She keeps doubling down. She keeps making excuses. She's like, oh, but those are my feelings, blah, blah, blah. I validate them. And she kept saying, I get you want to protect your reputation. She said that twice. No, Chelsea, it's not about Jimmy's reputation. It's about his friend's reputation. She did not sign up for the show. Poor girl. She's sitting at home watching this whole thing unfold. I'll be like, why do you guys keep bringing me up? Netflix isn't paying me for this. So I'm on Jimmy's side on this, trying to protect his friend. And I think Chelsea owes her an apology. What else did she say? She said, oh, you throw in the towel just because we had that one fight. And I was like, you live in Delulu land, Chelsea. One fight? You guys basically fight every episode. It just became such a toxic relationship that I'm so glad that Jimmy broke free. Because remember my last video, I say like he suffers from Stockholm syndrome. And I also feel like Chelsea lacks accountability. I hate saying this word too. Accountability. Because she always doubles down on her mistakes. And then every time she says she's sorry, she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, like that was not cool of me, but you did this too. Every time she tries to apologize, she throws back at him saying he did something as well. And the fact that she kept saying, but this is marriage about all the fights they've been having, I was like, not really. You're not supposed to go into marriage fighting this much. You're supposed to go to counseling and figure things out before you walk down the aisle. Overall, I appreciate Jimmy calling it off before walking down the aisle, because imagine if he had broken things off at the altar. I'm surprised that producers didn't push Jimmy into no, just wait, just do it at the altar, for the sake of drama. But let's move on to Clay and AD. Clay's dad finally shows up. His name is Trevor. Why are all the Trevors in this season done wrong? Like all the Trevors have done awful things, and I just want to clear out the Trevor name. Clay and his dad are having this talk, and I thought Clay was going to address all the cheating he's done in the past. But I think Clay loved his dad too much to not protect him in a way. I think Clay, it's still that little boy that his dad took on trips to cheat on his mom. And then his dad gave him like the worst advice. Be good to your kids and treat your wife well. Sir, I was looking at the TVs like, treat your wife well. One thing I want to point out at AD and Clay's almost wedding is that she walked down the aisle by herself. And I know her dad passed away, and she seems to have such a close relationship with her mom. Why did her mom walk her down? Because my dad passed away, and if I ever get married, I will have my mom. But my mom, it's my soulmate, my best friend. My mom is my whole world. So I even think if my dad was still alive, I'll probably still have my mom walk me down the aisle. Maybe both. Remember Meghan Markle? She walked halfway alone, and then the other half she walked down with Prince Charles. So usually the girl, if she doesn't have a present dad, or the dad is not alive anymore, if she has a good relationship with her future father-in-law, he will walk her down. But I thought like AD's mom could have, walked her down the aisle. Their vows were so awkward. First of all, Clay sounded like he was giving a salesman pitch. And then the not holding hands, it's always a big sign to me that one of them is going to say no when they don't hold hands. If they're holding hands, like, okay, things are good. And then AD was doing that thing like, we like, I'm multilingual and I could not understand that language. The whole thing was just awkward. AD says, I do. Clay says, I don't. He said it will be irresponsible of him to say I do because he's not ready for marriage. Lord, give me patience. Why sign up for a show that the goal is to get married? Did he miss the concept of the show? First of all, he was asking her from the get-go how she looked like, that he needed to know what she looked like before proposing. At one point he asked, oh, we're supposed to get married in a month? During the experiment, he was watching past seasons of Love is Blind. I was like, so you signed up for a show that you don't know anything about? You never watched the show before? Was he scouted by Netflix? Like Netflix found him on Instagram and reached out to him? Or he actually filled out the application himself? And here's my problem. He knew from the get-go that he wasn't 100% sure. He knew 100% that he did not want to get married. He wasn't ready for it. He said many, many times that he didn't think that he was ready to be a husband. So why drag AD through all of this down the aisle and break her heart in front of all their friends and family? Clay, I'm talking to you. You stole AD's experience. She will never have all those wedding experiences that you have for the first time. Trying on a wedding, arriving at the location, getting your makeup and hair done. She will never have that again. When we're little girls, we dream about our wedding day. And for AD, that's crushed. It was so, so sad to watch her. Granted, he gave her plenty of flags. He waved all those red flags. She should have run. We all know that. She kind of foreshadowed all of this because she said, when I see a red flag, I paint my nails red to match it. I'm a fix-a-hoe. And it kind of made her very relatable because we all know women that are fixers. I used to be a fixer, but I had plenty of lovers that I wanted to fix them. Now I'm just like, when I see a guy with problems, I'm like, get out of here, boy. Like, I have my own problems. Go resolve yours. And I love AD, but ignoring all those red flags scream desperation. I also felt really bad for the two little girls at her wedding that were there. They're probably traumatized. Those little girls watching AD cry, get her heart broken. They're like, oh, is this what a wedding's supposed to be? So there's no fairy tale? Because one of the little girls, when she was at AD's dress fitting, she was trying on her wedding dress, one of the little girls said, you look like a princess. And now she sees the princess get dumped at the altar. They should have taken those two little girls to Amy's wedding and showed them how it's done. One of Clay's excuses for saying no was AD's finances. I got the vibe that he didn't think she was financially stable because she hasn't started her job yet. And I was very confused the whole season, because she went from, when they put below their names, their occupation, she was a real estate agent. But then when she met his mom, she was a VIP club manager. And I've learned in all my years watching Love is Blind that if anyone says that they're either like an insurance agent or a real estate agent or an entrepreneur, that's another word for unemployed. When you go on the show, people out there, boys and girls, and if you get to the pods, ask specific questions about the person that you're dating and their occupation. If somebody says, I'm an account manager, oh, an account manager for what company? Huh? Which company? I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, really? For what kind of business? I'm a real estate agent. Oh, how many houses did you sell last year? Is it like selling Sunset or selling the Hamptons type of thing? After the wedding's over, Clay's parents have a little chat with him, and his dad is praising him for being mature, that it shows maturity to say no. And his mom, Margarita, she's on the side, giving him the eye like Cyclops from X-Men. Both parents, I think they were happy that Clay said no. The mom said that you can't force an I do. If it's not 100% in your heart, you can't force it. And that leads us into the best part of this episode. It was when Trevor and Margarita, they have a conversation, just the two of them. And I don't know if Netflix producers set this up. Maybe they went here on Trevor, here on Margarita, say, hey, what do you think? Would be nice that you two have a little talk and squash some things from the past. Or if it came naturally, I don't know, but it was genius. Basically, Margarita said that Clay struggles with the idea of marriage, and he took those struggles to the altar. She said, is marriage a sacred thing? Do you honor it? And I thought she was such a legend, because she was saying all that stuff, look in the eyes of her cheating ex-husband. Clay needs to break the cycle. Trevor even said that, oh, I didn't have the best role models growing up. And Margarita said, we are all broken people. We all experience brokenness, but we cannot pass that brokenness along to our kids. I want to know what Margarita does for a living, because she will be a great counselor. She tells Trevor, I have forgiven you, but during this experiment / the show, I've learned a lot of new things from Clay that happened in the past. She's about to throw a 1-2 punch, because Trevor says, Clay just needs to meet a woman like his mom. He needs to meet a woman like you. And then Margarita said, no, you met me and you were not good to me. What did I tell you? That 1-2 punch. When she walked away and you could tell she was holding back her tears, you could tell that she still holds so much hurt inside. I think this family has so much unpacking that can be done. Past traumas and parental baggage and forgiveness and all of this. I know there's a lot of therapists that have channels on YouTube. I always see that on my feed, recommended. I never clicked on it, but there's a lot of therapists and psychologists that they break down couples or relationships on Love is Blind. If you guys know any channels or a therapist that you like that's on YouTube that analyze this season, let me know in the comments down below. I'll love any suggestions. After AD cried her eyes out, Clay goes to see her. Once again, AD being so relatable when she tells him that she feels like she's a sacrifice. She said, you learned so much about yourself, and what did I get? A broken heart. She's the type of woman that gives so much but doesn't get anything back. And the whole thing with Clay and AD reminded me of that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot force it to drink it. You can lead him into the altar, but you cannot force him to say, I do. And then Clay said that you helped me grow. You helped me be a better man. I was like, child, listen, Clay needs to learn the difference between a wife and a therapist. What made me really sad with the whole AD situation, and it happens with a lot of women that go on Love is Blind and they get dumped at the altar, It's them questioning their own worth. Like AD was saying to her friends and family, like, I'm not enough. I'm never enough. It happened with Emilia in the Swedish version of Love is Blind, that she went into the experiment to find someone that likes her for her personality and not her looks. But outside of the pods, Lucas wasn't connecting with her physically. And at the reunion, she was bawling. My personality was enough. My looks were enough. And the same with AD. She's questioning the woman that she is. And she's a beautiful woman. She's funny. She's smart. She'll be fine. I mean, like I said, she's a gorgeous woman. I'm sure her DMs are flooded by now. I do have a feeling that at the reunion, her and Clay might be together. Maybe she decided to, you know, give it another go. And then we have Johnny and Amy and the fairy tale that we all needed. One thing I didn't like was the vows. Maybe it was like an editing on Netflix part, but Amy says her vows, and then at the end she says, I can't wait for what's next. And all Johnny says is, I can't wait. And then we cut to the officiator saying, okay, do you take this woman? And I was like, those were your vows, Johnny? I could not ask for better families. The McIntyres and the Cortez. One of the sisters was on Amy's side. The blending of the families. Amy walked down the aisle with her dad and her brother that she talked about in the pods. I thought that was so sweet. And then the tribute to the grandparents, you know, they had the empty seats with the pictures of the three grandparents. It really felt like a story coming out of a Disney movie. Netflix tried to create a little bit of drama with the whole birth control thing, you know, like those trouble in paradise, and they'll figure out. There are 30 million ways to have sex without getting pregnant. So those lovebirds, they'll be fine. Johnny and Amy, felicitaciones, mucho amor, mucha paz, mwah, besitos. They both seem like normal people. Huh? I don't think that neither of them went on the show to find fame, but they seem like such low-key, normal people. I think that Johnny found his Latina princess and Amy found her, you know, American prince. They didn't even do interviews with Jimmy and Chelsea at the end. You know, they did with Clay and AD, but I thought they were gonna ask, you know, Jimmy, hey, you know, how was your experience? What do you think? It's love blind? Or Chelsea. All we saw was like Chelsea, you know, sobbing at the amusement park. So next week we have the reunion. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you want to see happen at the reunion? I want justice for Britney. Yeah, hashtag justice for Britney. Kenneth and Britney. I wonder if they will show up. I also want Trevor to show his face and come forward with all his lies. Do you think he will show up? If you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up. I have a thanks button now. If you want to hit the thanks button, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell, the notification button, so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll see you next time.